Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 10K Project. We're the largest community of investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses. The minimum investment is $100. The concept is if 10,000 of us come together and we each put in just $100 each, that is $1 million. We can fund our own businesses. We can profit from our own innovation. We can create jobs in the community, and we can work together to build Black wealth. I am Cherie, and Tawana is on her way. Tonight's conversation for our entrepreneurs that want to raise capital. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. But I want to come greet you. Please put your city and state in the chat. Want to say hello to everybody on YouTube and Facebook. Put your city and state in the chat for us so we can recognize you tonight. Hello, Tawana.
Hello there. Hello, everyone.
Oh, super excited always to talk to our entrepreneurs within the community. This is new for so many people, and we always like to do this session a couple of times a month in order to just introduce people from an entrepreneurial point of view to what equity crowdfunding is and introduce you to the 10K Project and talk about our process of having people come on to do a Bet on Black pitch, if that's what you choose to do. So again, we're going to wait just one more minute, give people a chance to come in. Everybody, it is 6 p.m. In the East Coast time. If not, you can call us 6 p.m. if you're on the West Coast, wherever you are, which means you can have a glass of wine, something stronger, but definitely have your notebook and your pen or paper or favorite note-taking device available for tonight's session, because we're going to give you a lot of information. Again, everybody in YouTube, I see Latrice here, I see Carlisle here. Latrice, Tawana, Latrice is saying that she hoped you enjoyed your vacation.
Hotel, I did, Latrice. Thank you.
And Carlisle is from Leonard, Texas. So hello, Carlisle. Good to see you this evening. And everybody in Zoom, thank you so much for being here this evening as well. So, and everybody, all right, we're going to get started. So, again, just an introduction. I'm Cherie. This is Tawana of the 10K Project. We are, again, the largest community of small dollar investors who actively fund Black-owned businesses. The minimum investment is $100. The concept is, for example, 10,000 of us come together and we each put in $100. That's $1 million. We can fund our own businesses, so we don't have to go to banks or venture capitalists and beg people to fund our companies. We can fund our own companies. We can profit from our own innovation. We can create jobs in the community, and we can work together to build Black wealth. So, Tawana, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Tawana Rivers. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at 10K Project. Welcome. We're so glad you guys are joining us this evening to learn more about equity crowdfunding and how to raise money as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So tonight we're here to show you a little bit of a presentation, give you more information. We do have a free offer for people. So, you want to listen out for that. And we're going to talk about the Bet on Black pitch. You may have, as an entrepreneur, heard about our Bet on Black pitches. Tawana is going to talk about the process that she goes through because she is in charge of that. So she can talk to you about how you actually apply to be one of our entrepreneurs. And we'll take your questions. And other than that, we're going to jump into tonight's presentation here. It's not death by PowerPoint. It's just a way for us to show you this information. You'll be able to jot down certain things that you want to take a look at later. So this session is all about how you can raise anywhere from $10,000 to $5 million for your business. And again, this is us. This is the senior management team of the 10K project. The 10K project got started because I have been a business plan writer for over a decade now. I started actually writing business plans in 2011, so 2010, 2011 timeframe. And I was helping companies raise capital for their businesses. And people would come to me and say, okay, Cherie, I got this great business. I want you to write this business plan. And my counterparts would be able to, or our counterparts, ethnic counterparts, would be able to take my business plan and they would show it to aunt, uncle, best friend. They would get literally sitting at a dinner with my client and some other people, and he raises $600,000 in one evening. My Black entrepreneurs, unfortunately, did not have those types of networks where they could host a dinner and raise that kind of money. They were struggling. But I also noticed the emergence of the We Buy Black movement. And I started asking, if we're buying Black, maybe we would invest Black too. So, I was saying for 3 years, hey, 10,000 of us got together and we each put in $100. We don't have to beg other people to fund our businesses. And I say it enough times. And Tawana one day in a meeting says, you've been talking about that for 3 years. When are you going to do something about it? So that was the genesis of the 10K project. It was she and I and 3 other people on a Zoom call, and we became the founding members of the 10K project. Sometimes you just have to become the change that you want to see in the world. And, right now we have close to 2,000 members, paid members that are a part of our community, and they are passionate about seeing Black entrepreneurs grow, get the funding that they need, build teams, etc. There was a report that was done that said that Black founders start with about a third of the capital that our counterparts start with. And there's a lot of historical reasons for that. Some of them are our housing prices. Some of them are, we don't make as much money, so we don't have as much in savings. Our networks don't have that type of money where they could stroke $25,000 checks each. And I get people together and all of a sudden I've raised $500,000, or my father plays golf with somebody who could stroke $1 million check for me. And because of that, our growth tends to be, it tends to take longer for us to get where we want to go financially. Yet there was a Morgan Stanley report that came out that said that when our businesses are properly funded, they make just as much money as any other ethnically founded business that's out there. So, Tawana and I have a passion, and Tawana, you'll jump in whenever you're ready. Tawana and I have a passion for helping our businesses get properly funded. There's no reason why we don't have more Robert F. Smiths. I'm familiar with Robert F. Smith. He is a billionaire. There are too few of us. We need more Black entrepreneurs that launch an IPO, initial public offering. I was speaking with an entrepreneur, Black entrepreneur, a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he was in a VC meeting, and the VC said, we've never seen a Black person do that before, build $1 billion company before. We want to see if you can do it. Not him personally, like any Black person.
Right.
They don't believe we can do it.
Right.
But we know we can do it. We know we make $1 billion companies every day, a la Clubhouse became $1 billion company because of whose eyes? Ours. But were we on the receiving end of any kind of board positions for that? Not that I know of. Excuse me.
Yeah. And I think, it's interesting.
I'm sorry.
I think it's interesting that the VC's approach was such, because building the business and owning the $1 billion business are two different things, right? So you just said Black people, it's been proven, built Clubhouse to be $1 billion business. but it's
Mm-hmm.
not our business. We don't own it. We don't
We
sit
don't
on the
own it.
board, to my knowledge. At
Yeah.
last I checked, which was several months ago, we were not on the board anywhere now. They've been wise. They probably changed that by now. But initially, we were not on the board. And so we have the ability when we join together to build billion-dollar companies 10 times over, right? Where we need to focus now is how do we build those businesses for our own community? And I
Mm-hmm.
love what we're doing here because it speaks directly to that. We are banding together, rallying around the Black entrepreneur who is raising money via equity crowdfunding. And we're saying, we'll help you get the capital that you need, which also builds wealth for us as investors, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so the whole community is benefiting from that. It's not one-sided, right? And together we know that we can do that. So it's really just a matter of bringing the right two people. My analogy is that we bring the two people together, they go on their first date, and we did the matchmaking, right? And they live happily ever after. That's what this is about. Um, and unfortunately, VCs haven't connected the dots that we are the powerhouse behind so many companies' success. Where we need to show them, though, is we are not just consumers. We can do this the other way as well.
Absolutely. So, what is the key? Like I said, there aren't a lot of Robert F. Smiths, there aren't a lot of Bob Johnsons out there, but there are a lot of us who have $100, $200, $500 that if we like a business, we're able to invest small dollars into a business. And that's what crowdfunding is. Crowdfunding is basically a whole lot of people getting together, putting in small amounts of money in order to reach a mission, whatever that mission is. In our case, it is the mission of funding Black entrepreneurs. So there's different types of crowdfunding that's out there. The first type is donation-based crowdfunding. So this is your typical GoFundMe, and most of us are familiar with GoFundMe. This is not the type of crowdfunding that the 10K Project does, okay? But it is an option for you as a business if you want to raise money that way. The second is rewards-based crowdfunding. What that is let's say you have a product. Let's say that you have a client now who, and this is public information, she started a rewards-based crowdfunding campaign, and she has a product for women with very large breast. She has a brassiere product for those women. So she's doing a rewards-based crowdfunding campaign where people help fund her business in exchange for product that she has. Rewards-based crowdfunding typically works for companies that have products. Rewards-based crowdfunding is not what we do at the 10K Project either, but that is an option for you if you're looking to raise money that way. And Renee King
I was going to say we
is,
have a great relationship with a
yes,
company who does do rewards based.
yes, Black Founders is her name.
Fund
Sorry,
Black
is the
founders.
Fund Black Founders is the company name. Please give Renee a call or send her an email if you're interested in rewards-based crowdfunding. She is from the culture. She understands some of the issues that we may have as we're doing this type of crowdfunding, and she is there to ensure that you have the best experience that you can possibly have. So that's Renee King. Fund Black Founders is the organization that does that. The third type of crowdfunding that's available is debt-based crowdfunding. Now, 10K Project does do this, limited though. We do it limited, but we do this. Debt is basically you're raising money from a lot of different people and you agree to give a interest rate on the money that you are raising. Debt-based crowdfunding is typically best for companies that are already in operations and already have cash coming in. So we have seen debt-based crowdfunding for companies that want to increase their inventory purchases so that they can get a lower cost per unit so that they can make more gross profit. So they'll do a debt-based crowdfunding deal. They'll raise the money that way. They could go out and purchase a whole bunch of inventory and be able to sell it at a higher profit margin. Um, it's not best for companies that are trying to build a prototype of something, or you need to reinvest a lot of cash. My suggestion is not to do debt-based crowdfunding, but I will say CYA, check with your accountant, check with your attorney. This is not like advice totally for you. It is just a suggestion with regards to that. Then the fourth type of crowdfunding is what we love. And we spend about 85% of our time in this fourth part of the matrix here, which is equity-based crowdfunding. All that is people invest money into your business in exchange for shares or partial ownership of your business. And there are a few ways that equity-based crowdfunding can work, but this is just an overall type of crowdfunding that happens. One of the great things about equity-based crowdfunding is you get the capital that you need, and our investors are trained that it'll take 7 to 10 years for you to hopefully have some sort of an exit. If you do it sooner, that's great, but they're trained that way. So that means you have time to reinvest your profits into the business in order to grow it larger and more. Another great thing about equity-based crowdfunding is it enables you to, for some people, get your prototype. Like when you start off, with a small amount of money, you're able to do a prototype. And then once that prototype is working and you have some revenues coming in, the law allows you to actually raise up to $5 million every year through equity-based crowdfunding. So Tawana, I'll have you jump in now.
Yeah, so here at the 10K Project, how we assist in these areas, especially in the area of the equity and or the debt, is we highlight you as an entrepreneur if you have an equity crowdfunding campaign. Let me back up a little bit. In order to have an equity crowdfunding campaign, you have to be on an approved, FINRA approved portal, right? So there are several companies that are out there. There's a Black company called Seat at the Table. There's WeFunder, Start Engine, Republic, Net Capital, Title III, and on and on and on. Pick Me. There's a whole bunch of equity crowdfunding portals that are approved. Once you have a campaign on a portal, you have to, that's where you want to raise all of your money from, right? Well, in order to raise those dollars, you need the crowd, right? Hence the name crowdfunding, right? So being on the portal is one part of it, but the crowd becomes the other part of it. And what we do at the 10K Project, in addition to a lot of other things, but one of the things we do for entrepreneurs is we bring you some of that crowd. And we don't bring you all of your crowd. You have to have some crowd on your own, right? So you want to make sure you're marketing your campaign and getting the word out on your product and or your service. But we help you with some of that crowd because we have already, Cherie mentioned these 2,000 investors we have that have signed up with us that are waiting to hear about your business, right? They're waiting to hear about all of the businesses that we bring to them that are investment opportunities. In addition to being on the crowdfunding portal, you want to make sure you are you complete what's called a Form C. So you get the SEC's approval to do so. So it's really twofold. You have the Form C, which is the SEC telling you as a founder that it's okay for you to raise money this way. And then you are on the approved portal that says this is the place you can do that legally. So this slide is talking about what you need to succeed. So a winning crowdfunding campaign, that encompasses quite a few things, right? You want to make sure, again, you're on the approved portal. You want to make sure you have your Form C filled out because that's what legally allows you to collect dollars. There are some rules in place that allow you to test the waters. So if you don't have that Form C filled out yet, and you just want to see, would I be successful? Would people be interested if I had this campaign? There's something called Test the Waters, where the portals let you sit on their platform and market your project for interest. So it's really to gauge how many people would be interested in you. And then if you decide to file your Form C, those people who were interested now get to confirm and actually invest. So there are a couple of different ways that the regulations allow you to see if this is a right fit for you. Beyond anything else, you want a winning team, right? So you want a winning team for your business, but you also want a winning team for your campaign. Because you're not going to be able to do it on your own, because it is like running a second business. All of the entrepreneurs that we've talked to have said they didn't realize how much work running a crowdfunding campaign really is, especially a successful one. So you want to make sure you have your legal team in place, your accounting team in place. You want to make sure you have your equity crowdfunding consultant or strategist in place. That person is going to help you strategize and meet all the goals that you need to meet in order to get to the funding goals. So you've got your strategy and your goals on how you want the campaign to run. And then you have the end of the day, your funding goals, right? You want to raise $250,000, $1 million, the $5 million max, whatever that number is for you. You want to make sure you've got a team to help you strategize that. If you don't already have a team, then you're not yet ready for equity crowdfunding. That's not just opinion, right? That is a factual statement. You have to have all of these things if you want to succeed. Also, you want to make sure that you have you want to have some people who are interested. So you want to start thinking about, how are you already building your own crowd? Do you have a marketing plan? Do you have friends and family? Do you already have social media platforms set up for your business? Are you already out there talking about your business and or service? So these are all things you want to consider as well before you launch a campaign in order for it to be successful. And then, of course, you want to work with 10K Project, right? So that we can bring our ready-made crowd to you. The cool thing about our crowd is they are your target audience, right? They are people who want to invest, and they want to invest Black, right? So they are already, so you don't have to market to them. You really just have to share your vision of what you want for your business, right? The business goals, what they are, how are you going to make money for yourself and then ultimately for them, right? What's your long-term plan for the business? Those are the things you have to convince them of, but you don't have to sell them on the fact that investing Black is the right thing to do, because that's why they're members. They already want to do that. So some of those barriers of getting in front of the right people, they immediately go away when you come to 10K Project, because we've already got the crowd here that's waiting for you.
Absolutely. So Juana has talked a little bit about the 10K Project and how you can find investors at the 10K Project. We do our Bet on Black pitch, which is kind of a Shark Tank style pitch. I've had somebody say it's Black Shark Tank before. We do that every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we have one entrepreneur every week that comes. They present their business to the community, and then the community gets to ask that founder questions. Tawana does not leave until all of the questions are asked and answered. And one thing that I will say, this is not like a gotcha type of place like it is on Shark Tank. This is really a community of support and love. I think that every week people have asked questions that the entrepreneur has said, I didn't think about that. I need to go back and consider that. We've had people, entrepreneurs talk about something that they're trying to do, and people in the audience or a person in the audience say, "Hey, I can help you with that." Whether it's introductions or all sorts of things. So we feel like the 10K Project is the place for you to consider coming to present your business if and when you do your equity crowdfunding campaign.
And
We
I'll just
feel
add
like
here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sheree. I'm sorry.
um, we're the Breakfast Club. We're Steve Harvey. Our goal is to be the biggest place that is a must stop for every entrepreneur that wants to raise money like this. Go ahead, Tawana.
I was just going to add that, excellence is still required, right? So the investors, while they're eager to invest and they're even more eager to invest Black, they're building portfolios, right? Cherie showed the slide with the different types of crowdfunding. This is not donation based, right? This is about ownership, equity. So the investors are looking for businesses that fit within their individual portfolios. We're not investing in you as a group. We're not a fund, right? Cherie and I are not telling the members, this is a great company, invest in this one. We're not doing that. We're not financial advisors. What we are doing is we're presenting you to this group of people who are building their own individual portfolios. And so I say that to say, they're going to be asking you questions, very detailed questions about the business, because they need to, at the end of that hour and a half that we spend together on the pitch, they need to understand that you are potentially a good option for them to possibly raise money, right? Because that's the whole point of investing in portfolios, right? You want them to make money for you down the line. And so, please keep that in mind. When I say excellence is required, we're bringing companies every week in front of this community. And we all have a limited amount of disposable income for investing. We teach the community, if you don't have them, if you can't lose it, don't invest it, right? This should only be disposable income that you have, investment dollars that you've set aside. And so most of the people in the community don't have an abundance of disposable income, right? I'm going to say most because I don't know everybody's financial situation, but I would venture to say most of our community members don't have an unlimited amount of money to invest, right? They're all on some kind of investment budget. And so you want to make sure you come correct, because, they are, while they're looking at this pitch tonight, a good example, we have one tonight, they may wait to see what next week's pitch is. They may be comparing tonight with last week's pitch before they decide, how am I going to spend this X amount of money I have this month for investing, right? And so you want to make sure you're bringing your A game and you've got your business model well thought through. Even if you don't have MVP yet, which is maximum viable or minimum viable products, right? So even if you don't have it built yet, conceptually, you need to be able to articulate what it is you want to do, right? Even if you don't have the thing yet, because the community's making a determination based on all the other pitches they've seen that they loved that they haven't yet invested in. So just keep that in mind also. It is pretty competitive because we are doing this once a week.
Yeah. The other thing I will say is we had one of our members come on, and he talked about the fact that he was so impressed with one of the pitches that was done that he got a group of people together, and he said he didn't know how much money they had, but they ended up raising another $25,000 for that entrepreneur. Now, we can't guarantee that will happen with everybody, but you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's watching. You never know who they know. So Tawana's right that excellence is definitely, and look, our people are excellent no matter what. But I do think sometimes we need to practice our pitches, just like Angela Bassett or, Tina Turner or whomever, Beyonce, they all practice ferociously. Like, that's a part of it as well. Um, so we are, somebody called it again, Black Shark Tank meets Powernomics 2.0. We bring three groups of people together. The first are the investors, the second are the entrepreneurs, and then the third group of people are experts, whether you're CPAs, attorneys, etc. So what does this mean? Let's say you raise $1 million for your company. You're usually doing that in order um, to reach some sort of goal. And part of that would be hiring people, whether you're hiring for full-time work, part-time work, or contract work. So what we wanted to do was have a way for, if you raise $1 million, for you to be able to come back to the community that supported you and say, I have these positions available. And to be able to find the experts or the people that you need within the community. This is the way, Powernomics 2.0, that we're able to circulate the dollar longer in our community. The people who are part of the 10K project are, I believe, excellent at what they do. We have everyone from, again, CPAs and attorneys to construction workers, to graphic designers, project managers, all sorts of people. And the members within the 10K project add themselves to what we call our expert directory. And we have entrepreneurs that actively go into the expert directory looking for professionals in order to interview and potentially hire to join their teams. By doing this, we can basically turn the trajectory of Black wealth going to zero by 2053 or whatever. I'm not buying into that. I believe that we have the ability to turn the ship around. It takes, I would even say a couple hundred, 100,000 of us, 200,000, 300,000 of us actively doing this. We could turn the ship around within the Black community. Tawana, you have anything to say about this before we move on?
I would just say absolutely. I ditto
Okay.
everything you just said.
So, if you would like to get access to more of the information in the course where we do a deep dive with regards to crowdfunding from an entrepreneur point of view, at no charge, put a 1 in the chat for me. I need to see the ones in the chat if you want to at least learn more about this process of raising funding. On YouTube, on Facebook, I'd like to see the ones in the chat, please. We have a course coming out. We have worked with a crowdfunding coach, Bill Houston. We have worked with a couple of other people who are guest presenters, and they have come together in order to do a much deeper dive with regards to crowdfunding. The course itself includes all sorts of information with regards to how to find investors, how to engage them, how to find five-figure investors, and how to engage them, how to, more information about the law and the legalities of what we're doing, dealing with the SEC and what some of the SEC rules are. Oh, goodness. There's all sorts of information with regard to the crowdfunding course. We have, or we are opening up the course at no charge to people who want to be in the focus group for it. I believe that the course will open up for the focus group at the end of the month. In the next couple of days, it'll be available for Tawana to review. And then once she's done reviewing it, then we'll open it up to the focus group. In exchange for you being in the focus group, we do ask that you would, of course, seriously review it, give us feedback on it, and if you like it, also give us a testimonial. So how do you get on the list? You need to go to the10kproject.com/entrepreneurs. And on that page, it'll ask you, where you are in your crowdfunding process. You can just say, I've researched, I'm thinking about it. They're like buttons you select. What that's going to do is it's going to tag you in our system as an entrepreneur. The people who are tagged as entrepreneurs will get the first emails that come out when the focus group is open. So again, the10kproject.com/entrepreneurs. I'm actually going to stop sharing. And
And there
Tawana,
are a
if you'll,
limited amount of those
Mhm.
slots for the focus group. So, as Cherie stated, when those emails come out, if you're interested in being in the focus group, you want to respond to those immediately because
Mhm.
there are a limited amount. And we've already promised a couple of slots to some other entrepreneurs also in full disclosure. So there are a limited amount of spaces there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to show everybody the page just so you can see what I'm talking about here. So you go to the10kproject.com/entrepreneurs. You should be on this picture business page. This is our entrepreneur page here. If you go down to the bottom, you see these buttons here. You can say here, research is done. However, we have not filed any forms with the SEC. You just click on that. You enter your email information, all of this information here. And again, it's going to tag us in your system that you're an entrepreneur. And those are the first people who are going to get the email saying that the focus group is open. And if you're interested, let us know. So with that, do we have questions from the audience? I'm going to check Facebook and YouTube really quickly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, I was just saying, any questions? I see we've got a couple people here with us in Zoom. Do you guys have any questions?
And Latrice has here in YouTube, I think the 10K Project is like the Sam's Club version of financial literacy and crowdfunding. You pay $100 lifetime membership to get access to major gems of financial knowledge, if you will. Thank you so much, Latrice.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate that. Yes, if you all have questions, let us know. Otherwise, I was always taught that if no one has questions, that means we did an excellent job or we did a very bad job.
One or the other, right?
Job.
I'll just say, for those of you who are joining us for the first time and you're an entrepreneur, but you're interested, maybe this is the first time you've heard about equity crowdfunding. You're just interested to see what we're about at the 10K Project. We've talked to you today from that entrepreneurial standpoint, but many of us who are entrepreneurs are also investors, right? We're also trying to learn about investment opportunities. We're also trying to learn how and the best ways to grow generational wealth, right, for our families. And so, even if you're not ready for equity crowdfunding or ready looking to raise capital for your business, we want you to consider finding a home with 10K because there's so much more to offer. Again, we've talked to you today from that entrepreneurial standpoint, but we could spend another 3 hours talking to you about the benefits of being an investor in our community or the benefit of being a business owner utilizing the resources that come through our community. So it's not all about the raising of the capital. So please consider, if you're interested in becoming a member, it is $100 lifetime. Like Latrice said, there's no bait and switch. $100 lifetime membership. It gives you access to our knowledge center that Cherie talked about, that skills database. It gives you access to all of the historic content and webinars that we've done, all of the amazing guests that we've brought on. We've had guests that have talked to us about building and buying hotels, real estate, different types of real estate ventures, building or buying businesses. We've had just so many sessions about wealth building on its own. And then outside of that gold package, which is the $100 lifetime, we also have a platinum package, which is for $347, you get the lifetime membership plus 6 months of financial planning from a licensed financial planner. We've partnered with a Black-owned financial planning company, Freeman Capital, and they are providing 6 months of financial planning services to 10K members who join that platinum package. We've been told that 6 months of this type of financial planning could easily cost $4,000 to $5,000. So when I tell you they really partnered with us to make sure that our community is really diligent on building the wealth, right? We talked about that disposable income and building wealth. Well, we knew we had to do more than just talk about it. We partnered with a company that is going to help people really get there. You know, if you want to be able to invest $1,000 a month, how do you get $1,000 a month in disposable income? Well, the financial planner will help you figure that out, right? So, you know, everything that we do here is very thoughtful. It's all part of the bigger goal, which is to make people better than they were when they arrived, right? So when you come into the 10K project, you know, when you decide to exit, if you ever do, you're going to know so much more. You would have learned so much more. If you follow the roadmap that we put in front of you, your financial situation will become healthier. And so it's all part of the bigger plan to just allow us to be better versions of ourselves. So consider joining us on the journey, even if you're not ready for equity crowdfunding. As you get more familiar with what we do, equity crowdfunding may sound more attractive to you than it does right now. You'll understand it more. You'll be learning things that help you develop the business in a way that you'll be better prepared when it's time to get to that point as well.
Yeah, look, I absolutely agree. I think that one of the best things is to just attend the Bet on Black pitches and see what other entrepreneurs are doing and how you can structure your business models, your teams, things like that, in order to succeed. So with that, we actually have a Bet on Black pitch tonight. So you're invited. If you want to become a member, I will check the new membership probably in the next 20 minutes or so. So if you hop in now, you'll get in. Otherwise, we'll send you the replay and you can join us next week. Other than that, thank you so much, Tawana, for being here with me today. Thank you, everybody, for being here within YouTube. Please give us a like. We appreciate that, and subscribe to the channel here on Zoom, on Facebook, etc. The greatest gift you can give us is your time, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to be here tonight to listen to this. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock.